Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Okay, let us start with the new session, new part of our syllabus, Climate of India. We are learning Indian geography part. We covered the geomorphology part, the drainage aspect also, and now the climate of India, and next vegetation and soil. Okay, so in climate of India, we will first understand monsoon phenomenon, how it works out, different seasons. Okay, so in the country, the amount of rainfall distribution, then the climatic division of India. We will talk about all these things. First of all, monsoon phenomenon, rainfall distribution, variability of rainfall, climatic classification of India. Okay, so these aspects will cover, and this is going to be the one of the most important session, because many times students do not understand this monsoon phenomenon after reading that 11th standard NCERT, and some concepts are very important, and still UPSC has not asked question specifically on monsoon phenomenon in mains examination. In prelims they have asked concepts like El Nino and all these things, or monsoon related aspect, but in mains how this mechanism works out, this is pending question from climatology. So yes, this year or next year we are expecting that question. So first of all, the monsoon phenomenon. Yes, earlier in one of the lecture I told you that how the name monsoon actually was given here to this phenomenon. Basically it is associated with seasonal reversal of trade winds. Okay, and such kind of seasonal reversal of these surface winds flowing in the tropical areas used to help the traders during ancient and medieval times, especially the Arab traders, and that's why they gave this name to these winds as a monsoon, right? So that's why the name monsoon phenomenon. Okay. In simple terms, we can say that due to differential heating of land and water surface, ocean water surface, such kind of reversal of winds happens. Differential heating of land surface and water surface. We will understand how it works out, but I am just giving the brief idea about how this monsoon phenomenon, a reversal of winds, is working out here. Now, in general, when we talk about the climate of India, although we can say that India is having monsoon climate, but within that monsoon climate also there is a substantial level of variability, a variety of climates that we observe. In northwest India, what we have? Desert. Indian desert, we learn about Indian desert in geomorphology, Thar desert. So there what we experience is extremities of temperature, daily day night temperature extreme range. Okay, or if you talk about the coastal areas, then such kind of diurnal range of temperature is very less, right? If we talk about the Himalayan mountains, so there due to the effect of altitude, we have very less temperatures as compared to same points or locations on the same latitude, we can say near the plains. जैसे वो NCERT में एक आगरा और दार्जिलिंग का एग्जाम्पल दिया है ना, इस बार वो UPPCS के प्री में भी पूछ लिया है, मैंने सुना है ऐसे, ठीक है, वो एग्जैक्टली वो सेम जो है. So basically we should understand that there is a variety of climate within the overall monsoon type of climate that we have in India. Another example, we have the western coast completely wet during the monsoon time period, while the Coromandel coast is completely dry during those 4 months, right? So despite of being on same latitude, no. So this shows that there are subclimatic variations within the monsoon climate. Now this year's mains examination question, what was that question? Why India is called as a subcontinent? ऐसा क्वेश्चन था ना. Why India is called as subcontinent? नहीं याद है? Let me read that question exactly to you, and we will address answer to that question also. Yes. Why is India considered as a subcontinent? Elaborate your answer. Now some students may consider that this is from society, the question is from society, but rather this question is from geography part. Okay, why India is considered as subcontinent? Question mark, elaborate your answer. So that's why I was going to answer this question only, that despite of its location beyond the tropics, despite of its location beyond the tropics, the kind of climate that we observe is not temperate. Okay, even during the winter season, the temperatures do not fall substantially, even within, we can say, 30-40 degree north. ठीक है, जो नॉर्थ इंडियन प्लेन्स है या फिर जो पंजाब हरियाणा रीजन है वहाँ पे भी. This is because of the Himalayas acting as a climate divide, and because of these Himalayas we have distinct type of climate on Indian subcontinent or that particular landmass south of Himalayas. That's why it is called as subcontinent. Okay, this is having unique type of climate because of Himalayas acting as a climate divide. Then we learn about climate divide. Barrier to the cold winds coming from Central Asia, barrier to the southwest monsoon winds. Now today I will also learn about how it plays important role in monsoon period, the subtropical jet stream, and how it is divided into two branches because of this Himalayas. So that's why we can say we have unique type of climate, and we call it as a subcontinent. अलग से नाम दिया गया है, इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट, क्लाइमेट की वजह से, दूसरा कोई नहीं है यहाँ पर. ठीक है, एंड जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस क्लाइमेट वी हैव यूनिक टाइप ऑफ कल्चर. Culture is intricately linked with geography of that region. Try to understand why we have a particular type of attire, food habits, that is linked to geography. That's why we have unique type of culture also, cultural attributes. फिर वो भी बाद में लिखना चाहिए था, बट पहले ज्योग्राफी वाला बोलना है.
सर ये सबकॉन्टिनेंट में जैसे नेबरिंग कंट्रीज पाकिस्तान वगैरह भी है ना.
हाँ, पाकिस्तान आएगा, फिर बांग्लादेश आएगा, इंडिया, नेपाल, भूटान, ये भी आएगा. अफगानिस्तान टू सम एक्सटेंट वी कैन से दैट इन पार्ट ऑफ इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट. जो सार्क वाले जो कंट्रीज हैं समझो, ठीक है, जो साउथ एशिया हम कंसिडर करते हैं लार्जली, Okay, so we can call them as we can say part of Indian subcontinent. Fine? Yes. So yes, I just wanted to give that reference to you. Now when we are learning about the Indian climate, we should first understand the factors responsible for, or we can say factors controlling climate of India. Okay, simply it can be asked in the prelims examination also. We will understand one by one all these factors. First of all, we will talk about the location and relief related factors, and then we will talk about the pressure systems and wind system related factors, and there we will understand the monsoon phenomenon. So location and relief related. So first of all, in location, what we can say? Latitude. Now you tell me what kind of, let's say, climatic conditions, elements in terms of temperature, rainfall, or those aspects we observe near Kerala and northern plains.
Kerala is nearer to the equator.
Yes.
High temperatures.
So high temperatures are there, or we can also say that when they are near to the equator or in lower tropics, we can say that they are receiving more radiation. They are receiving more radiation, so temperatures are high throughout the year. So annual temperature range is less. Latitude का ये याद रखना है. Okay. Annual temperature range is minimum, so in the lower latitude, but as we cross the 23.5 or Tropic of Cancer to the north of it, generally what we have, the continentality effect also. At the same time, because of this latitude effect, the annual temperature differences are very high. Summer and winter temperatures, that range is also very high. So ये हो गया आपका लैटिट्यूड का. सो वी हैव लैटिट्यूडनल एक्सपांस, ठीक है, और वो लैटिट्यूडनल एक्सपांस की वजह से ये डिफरेंस हमें दिखाई देता है. देन सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट वन इज अल्टीट्यूड. सो एज वी नो दैट with increase in height, temperature goes on decreasing, and we have learned about this normal lapse rate, and because of that the places at height they are having low temperatures. Places which are near to the mean sea level, they are having comparatively high temperatures, right? So this is how the altitude is also affecting. Like for example, the example mentioned in NCERT, Agra and Darjeeling, almost on same latitude, but more temperatures near Agra and less temperatures in Darjeeling at particular time period of the year. So this is how altitude affects the temperature. Then we can say that distribution of land and water. अब वो जो हम सब कॉन्टिनेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, राइट, सो उसमें ये एक एस्पेक्ट हमें बताना है. द एरिया विच इज साउथ ऑफ दोज हिमालयाज is basically getting heated severely during the summer. The land is getting intensely heated, okay, and that land is, we can say, having uniform property on broader level, okay, and that is getting heated during summer, and during winter it is also getting less heat comparatively ocean surface water, adjacent ocean surface water, and because of this differential heating, what happens is there is reversal of trade winds, okay, और वो जो trade winds वो जो move हो रहे हैं reverse होके, वो उसी area तक limited है impact उसका. That's why subcontinent, okay, that's why unique type of climate that we observe there. Now see, distribution of land and water. Indian peninsula or Indian subcontinent region, we can say the remaining part except Himalayas, that landmass is getting heated during summer in intensive manner. जिसमें पाकिस्तान भी आता है, ठीक है, वो पार्ट भी आता है सारा, एंड बांग्लादेश भी आएगा. So that is getting heated intensely, and we know that land gets heated and cool at a faster rate as compared to ocean surface water. Okay, so what happens during summer? Land is intensely heated, comparatively यहाँ पे जो है वो कम हीट हुआ है, यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर्स कम है इंडियन ओशन सरफेस पे. So here there is low pressure established on the land during summer, here there is high pressure established on the ocean surface. The winds move from high pressure to low pressure. During winter what happens? The land is comparatively cooler because it is getting cool faster rate, and comparatively water is warmer, ocean surface, Indian ocean surface. So here there is high pressure now because it is comparatively cooler, it is comparatively warmer, low pressure. The winds flow from land to ocean, reversal. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Basically it is the core of monsoon phenomenon. The other influencing factors we will learn about. Now, moderating effect of sea or distance from sea. So earlier we learned about this, no, temperature distribution factors. So there we learned that how the land and sea breeze in the coastal areas leads to redistribution of heating, and because of that there is moderate temperatures always in coastal areas. There are no diurnal extremities of temperature, right? So because of that what we have, the daily range of temperature is very less near the coastal area, but as we move away from the coastal area towards interior of the continent, there we have, yes, so diurnal range is more there. For example, if we take simply the example of Thar desert, during daytime plus 40 temperatures, and on the same day at night it is falling below 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is moderating effect of sea. Fine, then we can talk about the relief factor also. Right, relief factors includes slope aspect also, or we can say different kinds of physiography. Right, so here we can talk about slope. So if we talk about the Western Ghats, what we have, the western slopes of Western Ghats receive more rainfall as a part of orographic rainfall, and the eastern slopes are deficient of rainfall due to rain shadow effect. The same is case for Himalayas. The southern slopes receives more rainfall from orographic rain. Right? This is how slope is playing important role. Why, let's say, Aravallis and Rajasthan, Gujarat region is deficient of rainfall? The winds are flowing parallel to Aravallis, so therefore there is no rainfall. Relief. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So location and relief factors, but the other important factors they are related to pressure and wind systems at surface and upper atmospheric levels. So within that what we can talk about the different factors, this wind circulation and pressure systems at surface level. Second, upper atmospheric circulation. Upper atmospheric circulation. Here we can talk about jet streams, their role. Third, we should talk about western disturbances. Western disturbances. Now, as it is given in NCERT, we will try to understand from that aspect only. क्योंकि आप घर जाके वो भी पढ़ने वाले हो तो आपके माइंड में एक मतलब ऐसे डाइकोटोमी तैयार ना हो कि ये कुछ अलग ही दिया है, सर ने कुछ अलग ही पढ़ा है, ठीक है. सो आई विल एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज गिवन इन एनसीईआरटी एंड देन वी विल गो बियॉन्ड दैट ऑल्सो, ठीक है. यस, सो टू अंडरस्टैंड these pressure and wind circulation in India and how it is impacting the climate in India, we should understand these systems during winter months or winter season and during summer season, so as to understand this phenomenon properly. So first of all, we will understand during winter season what is happening during winter season. I will explain that with the help of map so that you are getting complete idea. Okay, so now everything I will draw here, you pay attention. Now you tell me during the month of March, okay, during the month of March, what is there? It is equinox, right? So where the ITCZ will be? At equator. ITCZ, Intertropical Convergence Zone. During December, what is there? Winter solstice. So ITCZ has shifted southwards like this, नीचे चला गया है, ठीक है. Then what we have further? During June month, summer solstice, ITCZ यहाँ पे आ जाता है. Okay, so during summer and winter, basically ITCZ is shifting north and south. ये अभी fix हमें याद रखना है. And from understanding of this only, you will understand this phenomenon now properly. Now what happens from October month and onward? October month and onward. So in September it is near the equator, ITCZ, and then it is shifting to the south. Then it is shifting to the south, ITCZ, and because of that basically all pressure belts are shifting to the south, right? So what happens is here we learned about jet stream, right? There was subtropical westerly jet stream. Do you remember that? How it was flowing? It was flowing from west to east in this manner, and during that time period of the year from October onwards, this is bifurcated like this, and then again it is uniting here onwards. Pay attention again. During October month and onwards, during the winter months, this subtropical westerly, here onwards I will write STJ, subtropical westerly jet stream. Okay, so it is moving like this and it is getting bifurcated because of Himalayas and Tibetan Plateau. Himalayas and Tibetan Plateau. Northerly branch from the north of Tibetan Plateau, southerly branch from the south of Tibetan Plateau or over the Indian plains, we can say. And again in Myanmar it is reuniting as a single branch. Understood? So location of subtropical westerly jet stream is going to be like this during winter season. Let us understand the pressure systems now. What happens when the complete pressure system is moving down? We said that the polar vortex is developed here and it is expanding. So polar high pressure is developed and it is expanding to the lower latitudes. Polar high pressure. The strong high pressure is developed in Siberia and it is extended to Central Asia. Okay, so basically this part, complete part comes under the influence of this high pressure. Okay, so what happens when there is high pressure here? The winds will try to blow towards low pressure over the Indian Ocean. Try to understand now. During the winter season, what is happening? These winds will try to blow towards the low pressure over the ocean surface, because ocean surface is comparatively warmer. But these winds here in this part are obstructed by Himalayas during the winter. And that's why we do not experience much cooler temperatures over the Indian subcontinent, even during the winter. If suppose अगर ये Himalayas नहीं होते तो क्या होता, ये cold winds हमारे up to this point there would have been freezing temperatures during the winter. जो चाइना में हमें दिखाई देता है ना कि यहाँ पर extremities during winter it is almost zero temperature in the northern part, यहाँ पे समर में पूरा फिर गर्म हो जाता है, तो वैसे हमें यहाँ पे नहीं दिखाई देता है इंडिया में. Fine. Now we are talking about the pressure systems. Okay. So first let us understand that part. So here there is high pressure developed during the winter, and the land is getting cooler and cooler during the winter. Comparatively, the ocean surface is warmer, and to the south of equator, as the ITCZ has shifted, so there is more heating and there will be low pressure developed. So high pressure, low pressure, and the wind circulation will be from high pressure to low pressure. So this is actually the polar high extended here, but due to cooling of this landmass also, the low pressure is established over Indian subcontinent. Due to cooling of landmass during the winter, the high pressure is established over the Indian landmass, and because of this what happens, the wind will try to move from high pressure to in this direction. Okay, so this is the normal circulation during the winter, we can say. Especially I am talking about October-November month, and these winds are largely flowing from land to surface. That's why they are dry. They are moving from land to surface. That's why they are dry. Okay. Now we should also understand that this is part of larger circulation that is going on. ये मैंने जैसे बताया था आपको, यहाँ पे हाई प्रेशर तैयार हो रहा है. Okay, and for over the ocean in the southern hemisphere, the low pressure is being created. So in general, all the winds flow from the land of Asia towards the ocean, and during those winter months we have winter monsoon in this part. इस तरीके से winter monsoon in the eastern coastal part of China. Understood? So this is the situation. Now what happens over the surface? You have understood that surface level, this is the wind circulation. Here there is high pressure, here there is low pressure created, and this subtropical jet stream is bifurcated. Two aspects we covered. Third aspect was western disturbances. Now see here, there is Mediterranean Sea here. In this part, Mediterranean Sea is there. Now what happens is, this Mediterranean Sea comes under the influence of temperate cyclone area during winter. We said that all this is shifting down. When it is shifting down, then that means the convergence area of westerlies and polar easterlies, where the temperate cyclones were formed, that was the area for 60 to 65. That is moving to 40 to 45 now during winter. That is established over Mediterranean Sea.
सर क्योंकि मेडिटेरियन में लो प्रेशर इसलिए शिफ्ट हो रहा है.
नहीं, ये ऐसे ही पूरा शिफ्ट हो रहा है ना, प्रेशर बेल्ट शिफ्ट हो रहा है नीचे.
मॉनसून में शिफ्ट हो रहा है टेम्परेचर.
नहीं.
इंसोलेशन के कारण वो तो शिफ्ट हो रहा है, मतलब कि साउथ में.
Yes, basically The pressure belts are formed because of insolation. As there is apparent movement of sun to the southern hemisphere, Tropic of Capricorn, all the pressure belts are shifting southward. So जो पहले subpolar high pressure belt जो था, sorry subpolar low pressure belt 60 to 65 था normally, तो वो भी shift हो गया नीचे, right? That comes above this. Now this zone is a zone of confluence of westerlies and polar easterlies, and there the formation of temperate cyclones happens. Okay, so temperate cyclones are formed and they are dissipated also, but some of the cyclonic depressions formed over the Mediterranean Sea are dragged by this subtropical jet stream over this area like this. ऐसे I will draw with another color I am saying. ठीक है, तो वो क्या होता है, इस तरीके से हमारे नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न इंडिया के यहाँ पे एंटर करता है. हाँ, see we said that subtropical jet stream or jet stream circulation is upper atmospheric circulation up, let's say above 3 kilometer from the land. Now all these, let's say remnants of temperate cyclones, they are basically formed at particular 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer height. हमने सर्कुलेशन देखा था वो टेम्परेट साइक्लोन सा. So basically they are formed up to 1 kilometer 2 kilometer height, that circulation or cyclonic circulation, and this jet stream flowing above it is basically directing these cyclones to move onwards. ठीक है, in the direction of jet stream. ये jet stream जिस direction में जा रहा है उसको नीचे से वो क्या करता है, फोर्स करता है कि तुम भी इसी डायरेक्शन में आइए, because we have very fast moving winds in jet stream, so there will be some kind of friction or drag, no? तो वो इसलिए क्या करते हैं, उसको साथ में लेके आने की कोशिश करते हैं. Not all cyclones are coming there, but some of them reach up to this point, and when they are moving on this part, two important oceans they come across, or seas we can say, Black Sea and Caspian Sea. They are moving over Black Sea and Caspian Sea, they are taking some moisture from that area, because you may be thinking this is the Western Asia completely dry, so how they are having moisture? So they are moving on, and from Black Sea and Caspian Sea they are taking moisture, and that moisture is delivered here in Pakistan and northwest India during winter time period. Now these cyclones are not coming in sequence, they are coming in time periods. In one complete winter season we can say 5 to 6 such cyclonic depressions are coming, and they will give rainfall in interspaced time period, we can say after 15 days 20 days वहाँ पे बारिश होता है. And this rainfall is very very important for rabi crop cultivation in northwestern India. So wheat cultivation यहाँ पे जो है उसके लिए काफ़ी important होता है. So this is the circulation during the winter time period. Understood? हमने जो 3 लिखे थे वो 3. Surface winds are flowing like this, upper atmospheric circulation, jet streams, and then western disturbances, rainfall. Okay, some of these western disturbances carrying this moisture, they also reach up to Himalayas, and when they climb the Himalayas they give snowfall also. So during the winter time period we have snowfall because of this moisture carrying we can say western disturbances also. ठीक है, तो दिल्ली में बारिश होता है तो ज़रूर जो है कश्मीर में स्नोफॉल हो रहा होता है, शिमला या कश्मीर में उस टाइम पे. ओके, so yes, this is the situation during winter month. Now one more thing I want to explain, going beyond what is given in NCERT, and that is the role played by Tibetan Plateau. See, Tibetan Plateau having average height of 4000 meters, and it is extensive plateau, बड़ा area है, surface area, and it is bare area. Okay, so that's why whatever the sunlight is received, it is completely absorbing it. Now during winter time period, what happens is that it is covered by ice completely. Okay, and there is very low insolation, no? Sun नीचे है, यहाँ पे कम insolation आ रहा है. So during that time, what happens here at the surface of Tibetan Plateau, we have high pressure. At the surface of Tibetan Plateau, we have high pressure, and when we talk about the upper atmosphere of that Tibetan Plateau, surface पे high pressure होता है तो upper atmosphere में क्या होगा? Low pressure. Okay, so there is low pressure established in the upper atmosphere above the Tibetan Plateau. You remember this situation because we are going to learn about this in summer part properly. ठीक है? Again I am repeating, Tibetan Plateau is the extensive landmass having uniform surface at 4000 meter elevation. Okay, and that plays important role for Indian monsoon phenomenon. During winter it is playing passive role, but during, let's say, southwest monsoon, it is playing important role. I will explain how in the next part. Fine. So this is during the winter time period. Now talking about the summer, the same three criterias. But first of all, we will learn about from March to June, and then we will talk about monsoon. Okay, so what happens during March month? We have equinox. Okay, so sun is at the equator, overhead at the equator, and then it is moving to the north. And in June month it will be exactly on Tropic of Cancer.
सर सन की मूवमेंट की वजह से सर ये ITCZ शिफ्ट हो रहा है.
Yes. Earlier we talked about this, no, climatology में. ITCZ is basically Intertropical Convergence Zone. It is convergence of the trade winds. As the sun is moving north, the trade winds belts is also moving north. The atmospheric circulation. As it is moving south, complete circulation is also moving south. Okay, I will explain this part now. So in the March month, this is the situation, and slowly when this is moving to the north, the sun is moving to the north, the temperature above the land surface start increasing due to more insolation received. ठीक है, तो इसकी अभी जो है टेम्परेचर बढ़ता जाएगा. Now what happens during the May month? This land is now intensively heated for 3 months continuously. Okay, and comparatively this ocean surface is cooler. ये जो डिफरेंस तैयार होना चाहिए, सब्सटेंशियल डिफरेंस टेम्परेचर का, तभी विंड सर्कुलेशन होगा. And such kind of situation is created in May month. And there is low pressure established here in Peshawar region of Pakistan. Okay, low pressure area, because the land is intensively heated and the surface is warm, and because of that the low pressure is created there. And comparatively you can see that this is cooler, and that's why high pressure is created on the ocean surface in the May month. Now this low pressure is very strong and this high pressure is very strong during May month, but we don't see all these winds coming on the Indian subcontinent during May month. This is unique phenomenon. There can be question in mains examination like this. Why don't we have monsoon in May month despite of severe heating of landmass? Or we can say that similar kind of monsoon is observed in Myanmar during May, but not on Indian subcontinent. ऐसे question आ सकता है आपको. Monsoon phenomenon, monsoon rainfall starts in May month in Myanmar, but not over Indian peninsula or Indian subcontinent. Why? let us understand that aspect, and this is not given in NCERT properly. Okay, so sudden burst of monsoon. So which factors are influencing this phenomenon? When we said that this subtropical jet stream was having two branches like this, northerly branch and southerly branch. What happens is, because of this southerly branch of subtropical jet stream, these winds are not allowed to move over the land. The winds from the ocean surface are not allowed to move over the land. Why? Let us understand this. जब हम जेट स्ट्रीम पढ़ रहे थे तो हमने क्या पढ़ा था? रॉसबी वेव्स जब पढ़ रहे थे तब मियांडर करती है, राइट? ऐसे होता है जेट स्ट्रीम्स. Now this phenomenon you remember. In this part, the wind circulation will be on the ground, and in this part, the wind circulation will be like this, right? Now, when we talk about the May month or during the winter time period, the jet stream is divided into two parts. Over the Peshawar, near the ground surface, what we have? Low pressure. Ideally, what should happen when there is low pressure on the surface? Ideally,
The wind should rise above.
the wind should rise above for the convective movement. Ideally, intense heating, the wind should go up. Convection होना चाहिए ना? But that convection is not happening in May month. Why? Why? Because of the subtropical jet stream is moving in this nature above that Peshawar low pressure. अब इससे क्या हो रहा है? ये क्या कर रहा है? It is anti-cyclonic movement. Anti-cyclonic movement मतलब ये ऊपर से विंड को नीचे दबा रहा है. Anti-cyclonic मतलब क्या है? ये विंड को ऊपर नहीं जाने दे रहा है, ये विंड को नीचे दबा रहा है. So that's why those winds trying to come up from the surface, they are not allowed to come up. They are suppressed because of this particular movement by jet stream. Okay, this is happening during May month. Otherwise, we would have monsoon in May month itself. ठीक है, अब मैं ये सेम वहां पे ड्रॉ करके दिखाता हूं, इस कैसे दिखता है. See here, where is Peshawar? Somewhere here. ठीक है, अब देखते हैं यहाँ पर क्या होता है. See, the movement of jet stream is like this. Okay, during the winter month or May month, and because of this, what is happening? It is not allowing the winds to move up. अगर ये होता कि जो ग्राउंड लेवल के विंड्स ऊपर जाते तो क्या होता? If suppose the winds are moving up near the Peshawar region, that low pressure will be filled by the winds from surrounding area, no? Suddenly it will seek to fill up that low pressure, and the winds from the surrounding ocean region will try to fill up that. यही तो monsoon है. This is what southwest monsoon we are having. But this is not allowing to move up. Wind वो surface पे ही रह रहा है, and that's why the wind from the ocean surface are not forced to move towards. One reason you should understand. And the second important reason is basically the intensification of the high pressure over Indian Ocean, and that happens when this southerly branch moves to the north. I will explain that part now. Now what happens during the first week of June? first week of June, this ITCZ is trying to reach exactly to the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, that is peak, we can say, of summer. It is reaching to the peak of summer, and because of that the maximum insolation is being received. When this ITCZ is reaching up to this point, this southerly branch withdraws from the northern plains or south of Himalayas and shift to the north. It is shifting to the north. Okay, and there is now only one branch of this subtropical jet stream. अब देखिए इसका मूवमेंट कैसे होता है. ये जो अभी मैंने ड्रॉ किया था उसका मूवमेंट कैसे होता है देखिए. Again I will draw like this basically. Okay, now there is no southerly branch. The southerly branch is shifted to the north. Now you tell me what is upper atmospheric circulation, nature of circulation. It is cyclonic. It is cyclonic now. Earlier it was anticyclonic. It was not allowing the wind to move up. Now there is cyclonic movement. Cyclonic हो गया तो नीचे का सारा wind वो ऊपर खींच लेगा. It will allow movement of that wind in a vertical direction, and that will be filled by, this is called as burst of monsoon. This is called as burst of monsoon, or we can say onset of monsoon. Monsoon इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट में कब आता है? जब ये सदर्नली ब्रांच जो है वो नॉर्थ में शिफ्ट होता है. Okay, understood this? And this is happening when? In the first week of June. This is happening in the first week of June, and that's why we have arrival of monsoon winds at the Indian subcontinent on 1st June or first week of June, we can say. Okay, and when we say burst of monsoon, one more important phenomenon in the upper atmospheric circulation during summer month. When this southerly branch is withdrawn to the north, what will happen here is the upper atmospheric circulation will reverse above the Tibetan Plateau. What was there during the winter over Tibetan Plateau? हाई प्रेशर था सरफेस पे, और अपर एटमॉस्फेयर में क्या था? तो विंड विल कम अप और डाउन. कैसे?
लो प्रेशर से हाई प्रेशर डाउन जाएगी ना.
देखो वो जो लो प्रेशर बना है, हाई प्रेशर बना है, वो सबसिडेंस की वजह से बना है. जो पोलार में बनता है ना, समझ रहे हो, विंटर में. हाँ, the wind subside हो रही है ना, cool wind, denser wind. So that's why the wind circulation is in a downward direction. Understood? Now this is reversed. Why? Because the Tibetan Plateau is intensely heated during summer, May-June month, and there is low pressure created at the surface, and the wind will try to move up. Okay, and in upper atmosphere there is high pressure, and from that high pressure this is getting diverged, forming tropical easterly jet stream, TEJ. This is mentioned in NCERT, tropical easterly jet stream. How it is formed ये mention ठीक से नहीं किया है, explain नहीं किया है. So this is formed because at surface over the Tibetan Plateau there is low pressure, and in upper atmosphere above it there is high pressure where the wind is diverging. उस divergence से जो है tropical easterly jet stream शुरू हो जाता है. So that means this TEJ is formed only when the southerly branch of STJ is shifting to the north. Now what is the importance of TEJ? ट्रॉपिकल ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम कैसे फ्लो हो रहा है? समझो ये टिबेटन प्लेटो है, तो यहाँ पे ये तैयार हुआ है और वो फ्लो ऐसे हो रहा है और यहाँ डिसेंड कर रहा है. कहाँ पर? मास्करेनस हाई, नॉर्थ ऑफ मादागास्कर. ओके, फिर से मैं दिखा रहा हूँ, ये अपर एटमॉस्फेयर है, ये सर्कुलेशन ऐसे है, ईस्टर्ली बिकॉज फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, ठीक है, ये इस तरीके से उसका मूवमेंट है. ओके, अंडरस्टूड. सो it is now descending over the high pressure over the north of Madagascar, and basically it is strengthening the high pressure over Madagascar, that Mascarenes high. So that means it is pressurizing these winds to come over Indian subcontinent. That is called as burst of monsoon. बर्स्ट इसलिए बोला जाता है कि वो आता है तो एकदम वायलेंट वे में आता है, बट बाकी 4 महीने में आराम से बारिश देता है. ऐसा है ना, पहले 1 महीने में जो जून का बारिश होता है वो विथ थंडरस्टॉर्म एंड लाइटनिंग होता है, बाद में आराम से बारिश देता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज बर्स्ट ऑफ मॉनसून, एंड दैट बर्स्ट इज हैपनिंग बिकॉज ऑफ द TEJ इज coming down over the Mascarenes high. It is strengthening that high pressure, and then we can say that the monsoon winds are strengthened. One factor. Now there is one more factor जो इसमें नहीं दिया है NCERT में. Okay. Now we learned that there is Walker cell circulation going on at equator. Walker cell circulation is going on at equator. So during June month, how circulation is happening over Indian Ocean in Walker cell? Let us understand that. This is happening in this manner. I will repeat. On surface it is moving like this. Here there is high pressure, sorry, there low pressure, ऊपर जा रहा है, यहाँ पे आ रहा है, यहाँ पे high pressure, यहाँ पे high pressure है, यहाँ पे low pressure है, surface पे ऐसे move होगा, then it is moving up. अब ये नीचे आ रहा हुआ जो है ना वॉकर सेल वाला भी इसको प्रेशराइज करता है. So it is strengthening this high pressure. So Walker cell circulation also strengthens this high pressure, and that's why we have the burst of monsoon. Understood? बहुत ही क्लियर होना चाहिए ये, मतलब कौन से फैक्टर्स क्या प्ले कर रहे हैं रोल. ओके, रोल प्लेड बाय टिबेटन प्लेटो, role played by jet stream, subtropical jet stream, tropical easterly jet stream. Okay, and we should also understand the role played by we can say the ITCZ. I will explain that part now. So burst of monsoon, monsoon आ गया है. So you have understood why we don't have monsoon in May month. ये जो ऐसे म्यांमार के ऊपर नहीं होता है, and that's why ये विंड्स पहले म्यांमार पे पहुंच गई रहती है. अंडरस्टूड? द विंड्स फ्लोइंग ओवर दिस ओशन बेसिकली दे आर रीचिंग म्यांमार इन मे मंथ इटसेल्फ. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव मॉनसून इन म्यांमार इन मे मंथ इटसेल्फ, बट नॉट इन इंडिया बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कंडीशन. अंडरस्टूड? ओके. नाउ once the monsoon has arrived, how the rainfall is influenced, various factors are also influencing that. Just now we said that there is onset of monsoon. Now when there is onset of monsoon, the monsoon is giving the rainfall in different branches. So these winds, I told you that high pressure is south of equator here near Madagascar. These winds are flowing like this. First they will deflect to its left in the southern hemisphere. After crossing equator, they are deflected to right in northern hemisphere due to Coriolis force. Due to Coriolis force. See, this unique location of India is basically giving us monsoon climate. ठीक है, सारा यूनिक है, इसमें जो भी होता है ना, ठीक है, तो वो सब यूनिक टाइप ऑफ क्लाइमेट दे रहा है because of unique location of Indian peninsula in Indian Ocean region. Now this monsoon winds, which are called as southwest monsoon, because the winds are moving from southwest to northeast, that's why it is called as southwest monsoon. This southwest monsoon winds are divided into 2 branches. One is Arabian Sea branch, other is Bay of Bengal branch. Okay, we'll understand how it gives rainfall. First of all, Arabian Sea branch can be divided into three parts. Arabian Sea branch can be divided into three parts. One, Malabar coast, up to Malabar coast or south of Mumbai we can say. Okay, so south of Mumbai it is completely perpendicular to the Western Ghats. What are these mountains? So what kind of rainfall they are giving here? Orographic rainfall. So more than 250 centimeter in a year, that largely is concentrated in 4 months of monsoon time period. So heavy rainfall here. This. Now second part of these winds of Arabian Sea branch are moving north of Mumbai. वो ऐसे flow हो रहे हैं. What is this? Vindhyas and Satpuras. Basically, the valley that is created in Narmada and Tapi, these winds will move parallel to them into those valleys, and they will reach to central India like this, and they will give rainfall in central India. Okay, they will give rainfall in central India. And the third branch we can say they are moving like this. These are Aravalis. So they are moving parallel to Aravalis. So they are not giving much rainfall there. And finally they are merging here with the branch that is coming from Bay of Bengal. I will explain that. पंजाब हरियाणा तक पहुँचते पहुँचते या दिल्ली तक पहुँचते पहुँचते उनका सब मॉइस्चर वैसे भी निकल जाता है, बिकॉज दे आर फ्लोइंग ओवर ड्राई एरिया, वार्म एंड ड्राई एरिया. ओके
सर. Sir, the three parts, let me explain one second.
ये अरेबियन सी का. ओके
Yes,
ओके ओके. So Arabian Sea branch of this monsoon winds can be divided into three parts. The southern part we can say south of Mumbai or simply Malabar coast, where these winds are coming completely perpendicular to the Western Ghats. Western Ghats obstructing these winds. The winds are climbing up these western slopes of Western Ghats, and there is orographic rainfall there. Okay, so large rainfall, heavy rainfall is there from this branch or this part of Arabian branch. Then north of Mumbai there is second branch moving along the we can say Narmada Valley, Tapi Valley and these Vindhya Satpura mountains. Okay, they are not moving perpendicular to them, they are moving parallel to them, but they are reaching to the central highlands. Okay, so there they are giving rainfall in the central highlands of plateau region, peninsular plateau region. And the third branch north of it is basically moving in this direction over Gujarat, run of Kutch, Gujarat and Rajasthan, and they are blowing parallel to Aravalis, and because of that there is no orographic rainfall, and whatever the moisture they are carrying, so that moisture is not giving rainfall there. Okay, and ultimately they are merging with the Bay of Bengal, that branch that will come from this side in Punjab, Haryana and Delhi region. Understood? Now,
yes.
Bay of Bengal branch. Okay, so Bay of Bengal branch is reaching to Meghalaya and northeastern part. At the same time, this Arabian Sea branch is reaching to Kerala. Why? ठीक है, मतलब पहले 7 दिन में ये ब्रांच जो है वो सिर्फ वेस्टर्न कोस्ट पे ही रहता है, बट ये यहाँ तक पहुँच जाता है.
क्योंकि सर अरबियन सी भी वो सॉरी वो क्या है
ये कोई डिस्टरबेंस नहीं है सी पे सर.
इस तरफ ऑप्शन होने की वजह से क्या कहते हैं अरबियन सी सर, क्योंकि सर जो बे ऑफ बंगाल है वो भी तो हिट होता है ना सर, साइड से वो जल्दी पहुंच जाती है.
Basically there is uniform surface and there is no friction. Land is uneven, it is giving friction, there is no friction, so that's why winds with that speed they reach up to this point within no time. ठीक है, यूनिफॉर्म सरफेस है ना, रोलर कोस्टर राइड की तरह वो मस्त जा रहा है अपना. यहाँ पे जो है उसको ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन है. ओके,
ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन तब होगा जब वो लैंड पर आएगा, तब तो वो
कौन सा?
ये साउथ वेस्ट मानसून।
हाँ तो ये दोनों देखो, दोनों जो है वो ऐसे यहाँ पर आए समझो, ठीक है। अब इसको ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन मिल गया, इसको ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन मिल गया तो 2 दिन लगेंगे ना उसको ऊपर चढ़ने को, वेस्टर्न घाट को, ये तब तक यहाँ पहुँच गया रहता है, ठीक है। तो अनइवन लैंड जो है ना वो विंड स्पीड को कम कर देता है ना, लैंड सरफेस जो है।
अच्छा, तो रेनफॉल दोनों जगह सेम टाइम पर होती है लेकिन फिर भी?
हाँ, ये जब मतलब 7 जून तक ये सारा कवर हो जाता है ना, तो 7 जून तक यहाँ पहुँच जाता है, ठीक है। सो दैट्स व्हाई बिकॉज ऑफ लेट्स से even surface, oceanic surface and less friction or obstruction we can say. And this Bay of Bengal branch is still moving above the ocean surface, so it is having now more moisture. Bay of Bengal is comparatively warmer, ठीक है, तो ये moisture है ऊपर लेके जा रहा है सारा अभी. Suddenly there is obstruction created by Meghalaya Plateau and northeastern hills, so heavy downpour there, orographic rainfall again. Okay, now what happens to this branch? It will move to the northeast like this, and because of eastern Himalayas and the northeastern hills, there is a kind of movement created like this. क्योंकि ये जो हिमालयाज है और ये नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न हिल्स ऐसे है, जियोसिंक्लाइन, डू यू रिमेंबर जियोसिंक्लाइन? नॉट जियोसिंक्लाइन, सॉरी, हाँ सिंटैक्सियल बेंड, सॉरी सिंटैक्सियल बेंड. अब उसकी वजह से क्या होता है, ये विंड्स ऐसे डाइवर्ट हो जाते हैं, ओके, एंड नाउ दे आर फ्लोइंग ओवर द ब्रह्मपुत्रा वैली, दे आर गिविंग द रेनफॉल ऑन द फुटहिल्स ऑफ हिमालयाज. जहां जहां चांस मिलता है वो ऊपर चढ़ने की कोशिश करते हैं, रेनफॉल देते हैं. And now they are moving over the narrow channel of northern plains like this, and they reach up to Delhi, Punjab region, merge with this branch from this side. Okay, this branch giving rainfall here also ultimately merge with this branch. ठीक है, तो ये ऐसे मूव हो जाती है यहाँ पर.
तो जब नॉर्थ इंडियन प्लेन्स पे मूव करेंगे, ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन नहीं है तो रेनफॉल नहीं होगा.
कहाँ पर?
नॉर्थ इंडियन प्लेन्स पे जब मूव कर रहे हैं.
नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है. ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन होता ही है, ठीक है. अनइवन ही होता है, भले ही वो प्लेन्स है तो भी, बिकॉज देर आर डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स. नो, वेजिटेशन इज देयर, स्ट्रक्चर्स आर देयर, ह्यूमन हैबिटेशंस आर देयर, राइट. बट ओशन पे बिल्कुल भी कुछ भी नहीं है ना, राइट. सो व्हाट हैपन्स हियर नाउ, द मॉइस्चर फर्स्ट इज गिवन इन नॉर्थ ईस्ट. ओके, सो देयर heavy rainfall, 250 centimeter plus annual rainfall. Now they are losing on moisture as they are moving in this side. So the rainfall from Bay of Bengal branch goes on decreasing from east to west. Remember this for prelims examination. Bay of Bengal branch rainfall goes on decreasing from east to west, while Arabian Sea branch rainfall goes on decreasing from west to east. सबसे ज़्यादा वेस्टर्न घाट्स के यहाँ पे, फिर उसके बाद वो ड्राई होके कम कम रेनफॉल होता है आगे. Understood? Now one more thing we should understand here. These are the western ghats. So the eastern part of western ghats do not receive rainfall from this branch, and that is called as rain shadow area of western ghats. Some parts of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and we can say that even this coastal Coromandel coast or Tamil Nadu coast, it is not receiving rainfall from this side. And at the same time Bay of Bengal branch is parallel to this coast, so it is not giving rainfall. ठीक है, तो साउथ वेस्ट मॉनसून से यहाँ पे बारिश नहीं होता है. Understood? Okay, so this is how the rainfall is being given by these winds. Now uniqueness of monsoon is the breaks in the monsoon. Now you may be thinking यहाँ पे ओरोग्राफिक हो रहा है, यहाँ पे ओरोग्राफिक होता है, बाकी जगह पे किस टाइप का रेनफॉल हो रहा है, किस टाइप का हो रहा है? We learned 3 types of rainfall.
Convection rainfall, orographic rainfall and cyclonic rainfall.
सर ये जो हो रहा है सर, ये कन्वेक्शनल हुआ.
कौन सा?
कन्वेक्शनल सर.
Yes. So the remaining part of India receives the rainfall from convectional rainfall. But how this is happening? Now I am going to tell you about the role played by ITCZ or monsoon trough we call them. Now during the month of June, basically the ITCZ has reached to the peak level in the north. ठीक है, वो अभी ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर के पास में पहुंच गया है ITCZ. Now what is ITCZ? Convergence zone. What happens in ITCZ? The wind from the surrounding is coming there and it is moving up. Convection, condensation, rainfall. Basically ITCZ itself act as a monsoon trough. उसको क्या बोला जाता है? Monsoon trough. Those areas which are falling under this monsoon trough, they receive rainfall. Those areas which are falling under this monsoon trough, they receive rainfall. But there is one criteria. Criteria is that when this ITCZ is present there, we also need to have these moisture carrying winds available there. अगर वो winds उस टाइम पे वहाँ नहीं होंगे तो वहाँ rainfall नहीं होगा. And that's why we don't have the rainfall throughout 4 months. तो मानसून कैसे होता है? बीच में breaks होते हैं. So what is breaks in the monsoon? Breaks in the monsoon means when the rainfall is not observed over the Indian landmass for more than 1 week. 1 week or more than 1 week, that is called as break in the monsoon. And at that time, basically these moisture carrying winds are not below the monsoon trough, or at, we can say, monsoon trough. When these moisture carrying winds are at the monsoon trough or ITCZ, they will come up condensation, precipitation, convectional rainfall. And if these winds are not present there and ITCZ had moved on, then there is no rainfall. ITCZ is not staying at one place, no. Every day the apparent movement of sun is happening and ITCZ is also moving. तो जून 21 जून के बाद में क्या होगा? नीचे की तरफ जा रहा है ना, right? So what will happen? The ITCZ will shift down like this, and if suppose the monsoon carrying winds are not present here at that time, then there will not be rainfall at that location. Understood? So this will be called as breaks in the monsoon. This will be called as breaks in the monsoon, and basically this is very we can say unpredictable phenomenon. Even IMD cannot predict this, कब break होगा, कब पानी आएगा, कब बारिश होगा, ठीक है. So that, yes, we are still trying to understand how it works out. And the second reason for breaks in monsoon is whenever the winds are moving parallel to the coast. Suppose these winds which are coming like this, due to certain factors start flowing like this. Suppose they can move like this. Basically they are moving parallel to the coast or Western Ghats. They will not give orographic rainfall. There will be drier period. Okay, so this is also the second factor for monsoon breaks. Everyone understood this? Breaks in the monsoon, onset of monsoon, breaks in the monsoon, and the rainfall throughout these 4 months. And lastly, we will talk about retreating monsoon. Retreating monsoon, as the name suggests, what happens in month of September? Basically, the ITCZ has shifted down, there is equinox, okay, and now the pressure belts are at their normal position, okay, and slowly what is happening, the land in the northern part is cooling, क्योंकि अभी sun नीचे गया है तो यहाँ पे इतना heat नहीं आ रहा है, slowly it is starting cooling. So high pressure developing again here in this part. Okay, and overall high pressure start building here again in the polar region, we can say. Okay, so what happens because of this? आ जाता है ये वापस. First thing. Okay, because of this high pressure, the winds are now basically moving from land to sea. और इसकी वजह से क्या, अब ये कैसे बन गया ये हाई प्रेशर इमीडिएटली ये लो प्रेशर? Because it is getting cooling at faster rate, no, than the ocean. That's why high pressure. Okay, so basically this is retreating monsoon. Okay, what is happening here? Because of high pressure here, there is winds are withdrawing back. That is called as retreating monsoon, and this is happening during the late September and early October. Okay, now these winds are moving over the land, and there is still warm conditions over the Indian Peninsula. There are still warm conditions over the Indian Peninsula, and there has been 4 months of rainfall, so there is moisture in the soil still present. This warm and humid condition are creating oppressive weather conditions in October. That is called as October heat. That is called as October heat. Again I will repeat. These winds are moving over the land like this. There has been rainfall for 4 months. Because of that, there is still moisture in the soil, and the sufficiently high temperatures are there over Indian Peninsula region. During that time period, the oppressive weather conditions are present because there is no cloudiness or let's say rainfall. Sky is clear, तो जो भी सन रेज आ रहे हैं उससे वार्म होता है, बट नीचे जो है वो ह्यूमिड है. तो हम देखते कोस्टल एरिया में कैसा होता है, हॉट एंड ह्यूमिड. इट इज़ वेरी ऑप्रेसिव स्पेशली ड्यूरिंग समर मंथ्स. तो उस टाइम के वो कंडीशन पूरे इंडियन पेनिनसुला पे होता है, राइट. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अक्टूबर हीट फेनोमेना. नाउ ड्यूरिंग दैट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम most of these winds are moving like this. Okay, and some of the winds flowing from this part like this. तो वो क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ पे जा रहा है ये? They are moving from Bay of Bengal, and where they are reaching? They are reaching to this Coromandel coast of Tamil Nadu, and we can say southern Andhra. Okay, so that region, and there is rainfall because of this winds here. So you can say that the Coromandel coast receives more rainfall during these months, October, November months, due to retreating monsoon. Okay, and it is part of winter, let's say, rainfall. क्योंकि सितंबर के बाद विंटर शुरू हो गया है ना इनडायरेक्टली नदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में. ओके, सो ड्यूरिंग समर मॉनसून दे आर नॉट रिसीविंग द रेनफॉल कोरोमंडल कोस्ट. इट इज पार्ट ऑफ विंटर रेनफॉल, ठीक है, एंड दिस इज रिसीव्ड थ्रू रिट्रीटिंग मॉनसून टाइम पीरियड. क्लियर है?
तो सर इस टाइम पे जो वेस्टर्न घाट है इस तरफ ओरोग्राफिक रेनफॉल होगा, इस तरफ नहीं होगा?
इस तरफ क्यों होगा? यहाँ तक आने तक इनके पास मॉइस्चर ही नहीं रहेगा, ठीक है. और यहाँ पे कोई स्टीप ग्रेडियंट नहीं है जो वो ऊपर जाके ठंडे होके वो दे. ईस्टर्न स्लोप इज नॉट स्टीप ग्रेडियंट, हाँ, जेंटलर वन. वेस्टर्न स्लोप इज स्टीप, तो ये सडन ऊपर जाते हैं तब कूल होता है, कंडेंसेशन होता है. आराम से जाएंगे तो नहीं होता है, ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस रेनफॉल कोरोमंडल कोस्ट? Basically this particular region is drainage basin of which river? Kaveri River. Now the Kaveri River drainage basin receives the waters in catchment area during both southwest monsoon as well as retreating monsoon. जहां ओरिजिन है वेस्टर्न घाट्स में वहां पे साउथ वेस्ट मानसून से पानी आ रहा है और नीचे वाले बेसिन में जो है इधर वाले मानसून से आ रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई कावेरी इज द ओनली पेरेनियल रिवर ऑफ पेनिनसुलर इंडिया. रीजन, ठीक है, ये प्रीलिम्स में आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, असर्शन, रीजन एंड ऑल. वाई कावेरी रिवर इज पेरेनियल रिवर. पेरेनियल वाटर्स होते हैं पूरे उसके कोर्स में थ्रू आउट द ईयर, है ना. तो ये रीजन आपको पता रखना है, याद रखना है. ओके, so this was there. Then small things you should know that the rainfall is also there just before the monsoon. In isolated areas they are called as pre-monsoon showers. Pre-monsoon showers, yes, कौन से होते हैं? Say mango showers. Here कर्नाटका कोस्ट और कर्नाटका रीजन, नॉर्थ कर्नाटका, वहाँ पे मैंगो शावर्स बोलते हैं. रीजन इज they help in ripening of mangoes. This rainfall helps in ripening of mangoes. Okay, that's why mango showers. ये May month में होता है. That's why they are called as pre-monsoon showers. And all these showers are because of intense heating and convection that is happening. Local heating जो होता है और वो convection की वजह से rainfall होता है. ठीक है. So mango showers. Then there are blossom showers in Kerala. हाँ, Kerala, Karnataka both. So they are important for blossoming of coffee plants, flowering. ठीक है, इसके flowering के लिए important होता है coffee plants के लिए. Then we have Kal Baisakhi in West Bengal. During Baisakh month, basically the violent thunderstorms, and lightning. So it is violent, it is harmful also sometimes, but it is useful for rice and jute cultivation in West Bengal, and we can say that tea cultivation here in Assam and Darjeeling. In Darjeeling they are called as, sorry, in Assam क्या होता है? बारडोली चीरा, बारडोली चीरा. लोकल नेम्स अगेन बॉक्स दिया गया है एनसीईआरटी में, वो प्रीलिम्स के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. ओके, सो सम ऑफ देम आर आल्सो कॉल्ड एज नॉर्वेस्टर्स. ये जो है ना, ये वेस्ट बंगाल में, और ये जो है बेसिकली दे आर कॉल्ड एज नॉर्वेस्टर्स. ओके, so these are local thunderstorms. There is one dry dust storm during May month here in this part, Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and North Indian plains, that is called as Loo. Okay, so that is also kind of thunderstorm, but that is dust storm because there is no moisture but intense heating is happening. So sometimes those who are living in Delhi, you may have observed during May month in afternoon time period. Okay, so gusty winds and they are carrying dust with them, so they are loo, है ना. Okay, local winds में. Fine. So now you have understood everything. सब समझ में आया है? Yes. Do we have doubt related to monsoon phenomenon, specifically monsoon? कोई भी एक चीज नहीं समझी आपको?
सर एक बार वो वाला रीजन बता दो.
कौन सा?
बर्स्ट ऑफ मॉनसून नहीं होता, वो पेशावर रीजन पर और सब ट्रॉपिकल का से जेट स्ट्रीम की वजह.
Yes. So over the subtropical, so during the May month, what is the nature of subtropical jet stream? We have like this. Okay, so here upper atmospheric circulation is like this, anticyclonic. Anticyclonic circulation is there, because of that it is not allowing the surface winds to move up. ठीक है, rather there is downward circulation from upper atmosphere. There is downward circulation from upper atmosphere because of the nature of movement of jet streams like this. Above Peshawar low pressure. पेशावर के ऊपर क्या हो रहा है
सर? ये एंटीसाइक्लोनिक सर्कुलेशन कैसे है? साइक्लोनिक फॉर्म
कैसे?
क्लॉकवाइज होना है।
क्लॉकवाइज है ना, तो क्लॉकवाइज इज एंटी साइक्लोनिक होता है ना. हाँ, साइक्लोन इज जो होता है वो एंटी क्लॉकवाइज होता है. ठीक है, तो एंटी साइक्लोनिक मीन्स बेसिकली हाई प्रेशर के अराउंड जो मूवमेंट होता है वो. सो इट इज नॉट अलाउिंग द सरफेस विंड्स टू मूव अप although there is low pressure on the ground because of intensive heating. Unless and until that wind is allowed to move up, the surrounding air will not try to fill up that low pressure. ठीक है, इसलिए जो सराउंडिंग एरिया से ये विंड्स जो है फोर्सफुली यहाँ पे नहीं आ रही है. Okay, this wind from the ocean surface is not forced to come on this land surface, because at this land surface the wind is not moving up. वहां पे void तैयार नहीं हो रहा है. void तैयार होगा तो surface से आके wind वहां पे आएगी. ठीक है, so what happens during the June month, early June month we can say, the southerly branch is withdrawing, moving to the north, and this circulation is changing to like this. Okay, and now there is cyclonic movement. There is cyclonic movement, and because of that the wind from the surface is allowed to move up suddenly, क्योंकि ये withdrawal suddenly हो रहा है. ठीक है, ये withdrawal suddenly हो रहा है तो इसका immediately shape change हो गया है. पहले जो है वो अलाउ नहीं कर रहा था, वो सडनली अलाउ करता है. ये नीचे से विंड सडनली ऊपर जाता है, ये विंड भी सडनली यहाँ आ जाता है.
सर अभी जो सर्कुलेशन है वो साइक्लोनिक सर्कुलेशन है, लेकिन हमने बात साइक्लोनिक सर्कुलेशन में लो प्रेशर क्रिएट होता है. नीचे भी लो प्रेशर है और ऊपर भी लो प्रेशर.
हाँ, यहाँ पे ऐसी यूनिक कंडीशन तैयार होती है. ओके, बेसिकली हियर द विंड इज अलाउड टू मूव अप बिकॉज ऑफ दैट लो प्रेशर दैट इज क्रिएटेड in the upper atmosphere.
ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि लो प्रेशर तो ऊपर जाएगा, लेकिन ऊपर वाला भी तो लो प्रेशर है.
ऊपर वाला अब लो प्रेशर बना है, पहले था क्या?
तो पहले नहीं कर रहा था.
हाँ,
लो प्रेशर बना है तो अब भी वो भी तो नीचे सबसाइड विंड्स को नीचे भेजेगा ना.
नहीं, वो थर्मली क्रिएटेड है. ये देखो, जो ग्राउंड पे जो लो प्रेशर बना है वो थर्मली क्रिएटेड है. ठीक है ना, ये जो सब ट्रॉपिकल में जो चलता है वो थर्मली क्रिएटेड है. एंड थर्मली क्रिएटेड में क्या हो रहा है कि ग्राउंड हीट हो रहा है तो वहां से विंड ऊपर जाने की कोशिश करेगी, और ऊपर अगर लो प्रेशर है तो दैट विल अलाउ दैट विंड टू कम देयर. नो, ऊपर अगर लो प्रेशर है तो वहां पे विंड आने की कोशिश करेगी फिलअप करने के लिए. वो लो प्रेशर फिलअप करने के लिए विंड वहां पे आएगी. ठीक है, एंड वहां पे हाई प्रेशर होता है तो विंड जो है वो वहां से नीचे ढकलती है, उसको सब साइड नीचे जाने की कोशिश करो. ठीक है, तो ऊपर आने नहीं देती है नीचे की विंड को. दिस इज द मैकेनिज्म. ओके, ऑल्दो यूपीसी में नॉट आस्क सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज जो बर्स्ट में आपको दिया है ना, जो एनसीईआरटी में ये नहीं एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है ना. फाइन, सो वो नहीं पूछेंगे यूपीसी वाले. जस्ट ब्रेक्स वाला पूछ सकते हैं, वो प्री में पूछ सकते हैं. ठीक है, सो फॉर ऑनसेट ऑफ मॉनसून दिस इज द फैक्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ऑनसेट ऑफ मॉनसून, एंड व्हाई देयर इज नो मॉनसून इन मे मंथ इन इंडिया. ये दो जो है इससे सॉल्व हो जाते हैं. एंड बर्स्ट ऑफ मॉनसून, ट्रॉपिकल ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम, अपर एटमॉस्फेरिक सर्कुलेशन एंड वॉकर सेल सर्कुलेशन प्रेशराइज कर दिया, सडनली आ गया है. आना चाहिए था आराम से, भले यहाँ पे अभी लो प्रेशर है तो भी आराम से आना चाहिए था। इसको ऊपर से और मतलब बोलते ना कि जोर से मार के ऐसे भगाया इधर, ऐसे टाइप का है।
और सर वो ट्रॉपिकल ईस्टर्ली डाइवर्ज कैसे हुई वहाँ से?
Tropical easterly. See, tropical easterly jet stream is getting formed because at surface over the Tibetan Plateau there is intensive heating and low pressure is created. And because of that the wind will try to move up. And from the upper atmosphere the wind will try to diverge because the high pressure is there. Surface पे low pressure है, ऊपर high pressure है. जहाँ जहाँ हाई प्रेशर होता है तो विंड वहाँ से निकलने की कोशिश करती है, ठीक है। वहाँ पे जो है विंड आके रुके, क्या बोलते हैं हम उसको, सराउंडिंग एरिया में जाने की कोशिश करती है, डाइवर्जेंस होने की, ठीक है। हाई प्रेशर जहाँ पर होता है अपर एटमॉस्फेयर में, जैसे हमने क्या बोला था, व्हाट हैपन्स इन इक्वेटोरियल एरियाज, वी हैव लो प्रेशर ऑन द सरफेस and the wind is moving up and diverging basically in the upper atmosphere. That point there is high pressure. Keep this in mind. In upper atmosphere.
सरफेस पे जब लो प्रेशर होगा तो विंड सबसाइड, विंड राइज करेगी।
हाँ।
और जब अपर एटमॉस्फेयर पे हाई प्रेशर होगा तो विंड
डाइवर्ज करेगी। एंड दिस इज थर्मली क्रिएटेड। ये जो थर्मली होता है ना, ये है पोलर में और ट्रॉपिकल में। वो जो डायनामिक वाला हमने पढ़ा था वो फैक्टर अलग है, ठीक है, जो रोटेशन की वजह से हो रहा था। अंडरस्टूड? ओके।
वेलकम टू लुकमान IAS. Study general studies with Lukman IAS for building comprehensive knowledge. GS paper 2 and 4 will be taken by S. Ansari and other papers will be covered by renowned faculties. Live classes are as effective as offline classes. The classes are highly interactive in nature. Your doubts and queries will be addressed and there will be dictation of notes. In the last 10 years, Lukman IAS has set up a niche in the field of UPSC guidance.